still kind of file in a little bit. Everyone get comfy, kind of just relax a little bit. It's Pisces season, isn't it, after all? There's something about it. Feels watery. Hi. Hello, everyone. I am Jake Leach, your co-host and resident Pisces, uh, in general, but also this evening. And this is my mom here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Denise, the resident astrologer and Jake's mom. So,
We are here today on the 25th of February. It is a Thursday evening. It is 8:16 in the PM in Central Standard Time. Mom, I think we're having a little bit of echo. If you wouldn't mind turning down your computer just a little bit,
okay,
just your volume down just a tad bit, so
okay,
you can still hear me, but
okay.
it should be better.
So,
Um, yeah, it should be good. Let's see. Check 1, 2. Yeah, great. Um, how's everyone doing? Everyone get in the chat. Let us know you're here. It's showtime, baby. It's Pisces season. I'm in my bag. Okay? And to tell you what, we're really gonna slow it down tonight. We're really just gonna like take it moment by moment. Caitlin Zero, we got her in the chat, so you know we're gonna be good. We know we're taken care of. Caitlin's here. We're done. We can wrap up right now. The vibe is set, okay? She says, so excited. Our Walter Mercado prayer candle is lit, which is so sweet. We'll get to a little bit of something about that in a little while. So shout out to
featured
that.
later for sure. We're
Yes,
just gonna
yes,
go
yes.
with the flow, right, Jake? And
Oh, we
since
sure
Jake
are.
is a Pisces, we decided that Jake was going to take the lead throughout this
Oh, is that
whole
right?
session. We've changed things up from our first stars align, which was in Capricorn, which was very structury because that was my birthday, my birth month,
Mhm.
very structury. And then last season, last show was an Aquarius, which was semi Saturnian, but now we're in Neptune land. So it's all about Jake. And Jake's
It's all
birthday
about
is the
me.
day. So we're in that energy of his birthday. So, yes,
Yeah.
all
So
about him.
it's officially a part of the extended birthday weekend, which I feel like has become a thing. Like, I don't remember that being a thing as a kid necessarily, the birthday weekend. More as an adult, and maybe that's just because you want more to live for. When you're a kid, you're just like, my birthday's my birthday. And I'm gonna have a party, and it's gonna be crazy, and all my friends are gonna show up, and I'm gonna get crazy high on sugar from cake or various other things. And you get gifts, and it's just like a birthday is planned. Whereas when you're an adult, you're like, I have to go out 6 different times and get drinks or go bowling, which is what I did last year. Which actually, let's start with that. Um, so this is actually my first birthday in the pandemic, which I feel very fortunate. Hopefully it's not my last, but also that the pandemic ends. So this time last year, I did have a bowling. Well, I had some dinner. I had some dinner plans. We went to a Persian restaurant here in Chicago, which was incredible and delicious. Uh, and then right after that, we went to a bar called Young American, which is a David Bowie reference, who we've done a whole profile on. You guys can check that out in a previous episode. And we just got down. We got down to business and hung out and drank drinks and whatever. I will say that unfortunately, Young American is now closed. So I'm glad I had a birthday there while I could. That was great. Um, and then, yeah, 3 days later, had a bowling party. Ton of people showed up
Yeah,
because we
remember when
could.
we used to be able to go out and do things with real people in the real world? So this is
Yes,
what we were talking about, that we're having a lot of feels, like reminiscing and
a lot of
sentimental, which is a
feels.
very Piscean thing, you know?
Yes,
Yeah, this time of year.
very
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious because I don't necessarily, or certainly recently, have had less of an affinity for nostalgia. I have the feels, and I like to remember fondly upon things of the past. But like I want to resist nostalgia for whatever reason, and maybe there's something about my chart, maybe my cat moon, maybe my or no, is it Taurus moon? What do I have?
You have a cat moon, but what it is, it's your
I have a cat moon,
Aquarius, Venus, and Mars that makes you forward thinking, Jake.
uh,
You don't want to dwell in the
which
past too
we
long.
went over,
You are aware of
which we
what's
went
happening.
over.
So we're all feeling it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am.
So
Um, and so now, we went bowling with all of our friends. We had some drinks. We went to Logan Square, which is a great little part of town here in Chicago. And yeah, got home late. Excellent night. Excellent day. Felt good. 3 to 5 weeks later, not even 2.5, 3, shit is
Mhm.
shut down. And I found
Yeah.
myself very much in this position, which is in front of my computer looking at a
Mhm.
camera. Now, a
Well,
year
it
later, I'm in a different room. Go ahead, Mom. Oh, and yeah,
well,
where were you? Talk about
well, I was
you.
just gonna say, I don't know if you know this, but on your birthday, February 28th, I was at Yosemite because I lived across
Small
the
part.
country, and I
Yes.
had decided to officially start my Stars Align LLC. So I took myself to this hostel in the Sierras called the Yosemite Bug, and I hunkered down and wrote out everything I needed to do to set up my LLC. And I did all the work, filled out all the paperwork, and just completely went on retreat, which is what a Pisces thing is right? Like just focus and go there. And I was dreaming of like the future, and my goal was to like take my van and go to festivals and all this other stuff. And then wham, 2 weeks later, oh no, you're not. Oh no, you're not going to do that with your life. You're going to do something entirely different. And here we are a year later, you know, I'm doing Stars Align and, I'm doing what I wanted to do, but in a completely different format with people I've never even met before. I didn't even know Rick. I didn't know Allie or Marissa, the rest of the crew of Stars Align. You know, it's an amazing thing. It just shows you just how much a year can change things. And just how quickly our heads are spinning, how hard it is to integrate all of this. So, anyway,
And I think that this is a great space to now officially let everyone know that you're watching Club Stars Line. Welcome to our show. This is something I should have said at the beginning, but I feel like that was actually a good intro after all.
mhm.
Um, we've got this whole crew here. This is our third edition of the show. So if you're new here, welcome. We do this monthly. We have a little breakdown of every sign. So if your sign hasn't been covered yet, unless you're an Aquarius or a Capricorn, sorry you missed your thing, but you can go watch our old shows. But if you're gonna do it live, you got it tonight. And the Pisces in you, or the Pisces in your life, wherever there may be, you know, this is gonna be speaking to that moment and those people. And so let's be thinking of that and your kind of wateriness. And the one other thing I want to tell you is we're on the travel agency. This is here the channel that you're watching us on. And the travel agency is a digitally native platform that hosts contemporary art making, produces art centered entertainment, and last but not least, provides digital residencies within a multimedia exhibition opportunity. So we are that here. We are sitting here as two people who are doing an artist in residence here on the travel agency. So if you wanted to have your beautiful face on the show, get in touch. Get out there because the travel agency is a beautiful thing that deserves a lot of love and a lot of light. And I spend a lot of time here. I tell you what. Me and good friend Rick, our executive producer.
Yeah.
He
And
we
Rick
put in
has
a lot of time here.
established this amazing platform to help us all get through the pandemic, so much easier. Also, including, the boogie nights of quarantine, who have like brought so much happiness and joy to people throughout this, crazy year. So yeah, it's just really cool that we're all coming together on this platform hosted by Rick. So yeah.
Yes. So again, if you guys we I guess in any way you can show love on Twitch, let us know. Give us some love. Subscribe, do stuff like that. Follow this. Go check out our social media spaces. And just quickly, there's the flagship show of the channel is Art Brunch, which will be going on this Sunday, on my actual birthday, February 28th, and we will have special guest Matt Sage of Cached Media, and that's going to be a really really special episode. So definitely tune in at 10 a.m. on Sunday, this coming Sunday. So you're seeing us here at the beginning of the weekend, party it up here at night, and then we'll really cool down and chill. But still maybe turn up a bit. We'll see. There's always an option. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. I will say to those who have viewed before, have watched this show before, we're doing things a little different tonight. I do want to mention I am not going to do a DJ set, and I want to mention why that is the case. Um, I'm not doing a DJ set because typically the set that I do has it's the rappers of that sign. So I do like a hip hop set of the rappers of that sign. And I'm going to be 100% because that's what we do here at Club Stars Line. We keep it 100%. And when I looked at the list of Pisces rappers. I was not impressed. I was not impressed with my fellow rapper ilk, my fellow Pisces persons, and I was like, you know what? I mean, no disrespect to Tyler the Creator, no disrespect to Common or YG. I
You better
don't.
look at
Those
the
aren't.
chat. You do a shout out for a few of the good ones. Boogie Nights, it begs to
And I'm
differ.
getting called out in the chat now. We do
Yes,
have Chingy, STL represent, but you know what? I also thought we do have our wonderful Boogie Nights of Quarantine, our DJ Mix Riss, who will be taking over in the later half of our show anyway.
she
So
will more
I was like,
than
you know what?
compensate for sure,
She'll
for sure.
handle it. She'll make it happen. And plus, we've got so much to conquer, so much to talk about tonight. And it's just, I wanted to be free of it. I wanted to just flow like the
Hey, it's your
Pisces
birthday,
on me.
Jake. It's your birthday
It's my
party.
birthday.
So you can do whatever
You
you
know what?
want.
It's my birthday. It's my
Mhm.
birthday. And I cannot DJ if I want to. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. So
So yes, Chingy will be present. So says Loma Scabby. So says Bookie Nights. So thank you all. Hang out if you want that Chingy STL moment. Represent. Go ahead and check us out. The DJ set will be at 10 p.m. So you're with us for a little while. I hope you will stick around because we've got a lot to break down. So
a
I
lot of
guess with no further ado, go ahead.
just so we got a lot of visuals
Yes,
this time. So, and I just
yeah,
want to go back
we
to
do.
like evolving. We're evolving, right? And Pisces is the 12th sign. It's the most evolved. So, hey, if this is the way the format, if this works tonight, let us know if you guys like this talk format more. Instead of breaking it up, let us know. We're just
Yeah,
trying it out.
and
So,
I do like that idea that I am the most evolved because maybe I'm the most. So we'll see. But let's get the party started. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our drink of the evening. We want to go ahead and let everyone know what that is. And the drink we've decided on for this evening is Four Loco sour
and because
green
Jake couldn't
apple.
decide, someone had to decide for him. Is that Piscean or what?
Well,
Jake was a little wishy
is that
washy on
indecisive?
talk about how you wanted to go in one direction and not the other. So we're standing in the Isle of Schnooks, and he's like, maybe margaritas. I'm like, what? Anyway,
Well, okay. I've been wanting to make wintertime margaritas for some time, but I also thought that maybe I guess that would be a little labor intensive. And we kind of, here at the travel agency, we tend to like canned things in compact bottles, things that are ready to go. So I believe it was Lil Miss Gabby in the chat said we need to go with some Four Loco. So this is, I will say, so a little background. Green is my favorite color, not only because it's green like my beautiful eyes, but also that it's just the best. It's the best color, just like Pisces is the best sign. Anyway, so I have to say this was actually quite difficult to find this particular flavor. I also haven't had Four Loco since it came out. And we'll see how it goes. We're not necessarily going to review it. I mean, we'll talk about it obviously, but I just wanted to say that it was labor intensive. I did have to drive all over the Chicago metropolitan area, and but I did find it at Benny's. Shout out Benny's. Thank you for having this insane beverage in your stockpile. Mom, how many stores did you have to go to?
well, so I ended up going. I got smart after going to two. I finally called around, and a very nice person at the wine store said, "Hey, you might want to try Circle K at K." And I called them, and they literally went over to the freezer and checked, and I was able to buy three of them. So let me tell you the funny story. As I'm standing in line with three, four locos, the beer delivery dudes start wheeling in beer shipments, and they're like, "Hey, lady,
Hmm.
you better not drink those all at the same time." So I'm like, "Oh no,
Hey,
this
you
is
never
for a
know.
party." So anyway, also I did hear that they changed this up a bit, so it's not as dangerous as it used to be. So it's Jake, you can do the can copy. I think it is what 24% or 14% alcohol, but it has
It
caffeine in
says
it too.
14.
It's 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're this is going to be a trip because it is a, as they say, an upper and a downer. But I also like to think and Elena KB in the chat says Four Loco as a concept has bad juju to me. So we might be unleashing some bad juju into the world. I don't know. Juju is one of my favorite words. I like that a lot. Thank you for saying that. I think it is most fitting for a DJ set. I completely agree. Boogie Nights, we're gonna get in this. So, but mom, I
Oh,
think there's a little something about this though. Yes, but
and
like
this is
that, I
something
feel
that
like
Yes, our
Go
stars
ahead.
aligned discussion was that, this kind of represents the energy of a Pisces because it's an upper and a downer because it goes in two different directions. Is that where we going? Are we going there with this, Jake, right now?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
And the 12th house takes you there. You're like your own worst enemy. So you're your own worst enemy when you're drinking this thing.
Yeah.
So are we gonna open
And
this,
it's
by the
like,
way?
yeah,
Is it
let's just get in here. So,
okay, ready?
okay, three, two, one.
Okay, this is a nod to
That's
the art brunch. Okay. And I have
yes, the
never had
group
this before.
pop.
So you guys ready?
Yes. All right, here we go. All right. Salute.
Okay. Oh my god. Thanks. Shout out to little Miss Gabby. She says pre-backlash. Four Loco contain alcohol, caffeine, taurine, and wormwood. This day just has caffeine. Okay, shwoo. So it's not quite the cocktail it used to be. Are you okay, Jake?
It's like someone left a sour green blow pop and a permanent marker with uncapped, and they just put it into a liquid, and it just sat there for like 6 days.
The whole reason
Look
we're
at that
doing this is
color.
because of the color, Jake. So let's just say this. I
Yes.
also want to say I have some special, I don't know if you can see this. I have this over ice, but they're special Pisces ice cube.
Oh,
Can you see it? From IKEA. I have the Pisces ice cube tray.
yeah.
So
Shout
I'm
out
drinking
IKEA.
this over Pisces ice cubes. Cheers to you, Jake. Happy birthday.
Perfect. Cheers. Thank you, mother. Uh,
Jake, the other thing
we
is we
got
should
the
talk
ice
about
fishies,
Studio
yes.
B, about where I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to you live.
Well, yeah, coming to you live, my mom is coming from Studio B, or you might say the water closet. Really keeping the theme here. I don't know why we're telling everyone that. That's kind of embarrassing to talk about, but
Well, it
whatever.
fits the theme. It fits the theme.
It does. It's the room with the most faucets. So that's great. We've got a lot of access to water. I hope you are also drinking water. Stay hydrated, especially as you drink
It was the
your
room in
loco.
my house with the least amount of echo and the best lighting. So, yes, coming to you from Studio B. And also, just want you to know, in dream interpretation, if you ever dream about bathrooms and plumbing, it represents your emotions. So, what better place to be streaming during the Pisces set than the bathroom? So, cheers
What
again.
better place to be streaming than the bathroom?
There we go. There you go. Oh,
Oh
also, one
boy.
last thing. Shout out to my friend Laura Barnum, who sent me some bath salt. Of course, she's a Pisces. What else would a Pisces send me? Is bath
Well,
salt. So anyway, got all my
so as we might say, you might be crossfaded from drinking this, or my favorite term, zooted. Um, well, I say, why don't we zoot right into the breakdown of this here thing. I don't think do we need to show images yet, Mom, or are we gonna wait a second?
well, you can go ahead and put up water. Let's do that. Let's put up the waves. The waves are good, and then we can talk about all the kind of little
Okay.
details or whatever. So we're gonna get to the
All right. So we're
educational
gonna go.
portion of Pisces, just in
Yeah,
case you don't
this
know.
will
We
be
want to get
good.
everybody on the same page. Okay, so we're gonna do
Yeah. So we
the
got our. Let's see here. Let's just get some nice waves. That's
yeah.
nice to look at.
Okay.
Look at that
All
beautiful
right. Well,
water.
Jake, you know this part. Talk about what the quality. Go for it.
Well, yes. So, little breakdown about Pisces. So, Pisces, the dates of that sign are February 19th to March 20th, which kind of marks the end of winter into spring. The element associated with Pisces is water, and the energy or the modality of it is that it's mutable. So, of the three options, mutable, cardinal, or fixed, it is mutable, which this is always my favorite part when I'm like trying to talk and I'll just let my mom kind of back. Very good, Padawan.
No, you're doing
Anyway,
great.
uh,
And you have a cheat
that
sheet right in front of you, Jake.
I mean, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So there's, there's duality in it, as we are saying, that has ebb and flow. It had like a wave. I like to think that us Pisces, we see the whole board. We're never not in 3D chess mode, and we're making sure that everyone's tended to. Now, I also feel like when that is the case, we also tend to overthink things that maybe like are actually beyond the board, and we're like looking at the table or the floor or the wall in the other room, and it's just like, bro, you don't don't worry about it so much. Um, but I like to think it'd be better to be a little too thoughtful. But
Well, it's
that's
the collective
Pisces energy.
unconscious. It's the 12th sign. You're at the end of it. You've collected everything. You've lived all the experiences. The thing I like about this image the most is that Pisces is a water sign, represents your emotions, and a lot of times your emotions can come in and be overwhelming, but they also recede, and so that's the energy of Pisces, is this back and forth motion. Um, and it also represents that edge where the beach and the water meet, because the 12th sign is that edge between death and new life, because the 12th sign is on the edge between the 12th house and the first house, which is birth. The 12th house represents this, the age of 77 till the end. So it's that veil. You're on the veil of that. So I just think that's the duality between reality, the reality of the beach, and the dreaminess and collective unconsciousness of the ocean, just constantly ebbing and flowing, touching into reality, escaping back out to your imagination, coming back in, hitting the shore, coming back, so but and we just want to say we all have Pisces in our chart somewhere. So it's not just I definitely want to make this disclaimer now, is that's the part we're going to get to later, is that we're going to talk about where Pisces is in all the different areas possibly of your chart. So don't feel left out if you don't think, just because you're not a sun sign Pisces doesn't mean you don't have Pisces in your chart. So anyway,
Right.
Pisces
And I
energy.
want to say shout out to Elena KB, and thank you all for attending our Tide Talk. That's good
TED
stuff.
Talk.
Thank you for that one.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, so what I love is that Pisces is the Latin word for the fishes, which we happen to have, if you bear with me one moment, our beautiful club poster that we used for this evening, made by our own little Miss Gabby. Um, that I think is just perfect. There's our two fishes. It's showing almost sort of like a recycling, a cycle, an ebbing, a flowing. It's circling around which planet is that, Mom?
that would be Neptune, and she's got one going in one direction, one going the other. Hide
Perfect.
by the club stars align logo, because that is a key element people don't realize, is that typically in a picture of the fishes, they're tied by their tails, there's a string, and we'll get to that in the next little part about that consciousness connected between reality and the dream world. So they're tied. It's not completely out of this world. So she did an excellent
That's right.
job. I love this so much, this visual she made. So, yeah.
So yeah, we're heading different directions, but we're tied by the tails, like we're flowing. It's a pull of the worlds. Feels very gravity like. Um, and something I think it's actually really fun to talk about is that there's a motto associated with every sign, and it's an I blank. It's an I verb word or phrase with each sign. And for Pisces, the motto or the phrase is I believe, which I have to say is very much, I think, my experience as a Pisces is I like to think that. I mean, literally, listen to me. I like to think that. I literally say that all the time. It's I believe. That because what else can you say? Other signs. I won't reveal which ones. There's I balance. There's I use. Uh, what what are some other ones, Mom? Just off the top of your head, and don't reveal the sign, but just some of the other mottos you can think of.
Well, there's I am, I manifest, those kinds of things. Yeah, there's just there's
So
all kinds of them.
so in the world of mottos, which each sign, this is the one we're rocking with tonight, and I believe, to me, speaks to me a lot. As far as my experience in trying to always weigh a lot of things at once. Um, and
You
Mom,
believe
I
in
have
your
this note. I'm
dreams.
gonna yeah, I'm gonna
You
hand
believe
this to you to
well,
ask what this really means.
yeah. Yeah, you believe in
The
people.
ages. Sorry,
I'm sorry.
got a little delay, jumbled here. Go ahead, Mom.
Go ahead. What'd you ask me?
Uh, we're working with us. Work with us, folks. Okay, so the age is 77 and beyond. Tell me about that.
Okay, so like I said, it's the most evolved. You made it to the end of the journey. And the thing is, at the end of your life is, you have faith, right? You have faith in the beyond. By this time you've
Well,
gained.
here, actually, before we get into that, tell us more about the most evolved sign. What does that mean exactly, and with the calendar and everything?
Well, okay, so like, the zodiac chart is divided into 12 different slices, and each of them represents a 7-year increment. So by the time you get to the 12th one, this is when you're in old age and you have wisdom. And by that time, you've seen it all, you've done it all, and so like I said, you're getting ready to blip off into the next realm or whatever. And so the thing
Mm,
about I believe is you have faith. So it's just different than religion, like in the ninth house or whatever, and all those other things. By this time, you've gotten to where you know. And so it's not, you know, is this is the 11th sign was Aquarius, but this is beyond knowledge. This is that subconscious level inner knowing. And this is where we get into the psychicness and the intuitiveness of Pisces. I believe you just know it without knowing how you know that you believe it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And just briefly, this is our symbol, the Pisces symbol. So you guys, if you ever find yourself in the emojis of all the astrology signs, that's what you're rocking with Pisces. Um, so I guess let's get into the planet ruler. And I will do that with a little something like this.
there we go. So there's old Neptune. Yeah, exactly. Um, and then Jake, we also have the picture. Let's go ahead and do that one that has the picture of the god Neptune, because I think that'll help tie
Yes,
in,
perfect,
to
perfect.
there we go. So there's Neptune up in
Our
the
boy
corner.
Neptune.
Yeah.
Yes,
So Neptune is the god of the sea, right? Of
yes.
the world beyond. And what's cool, if you guys see the clouds up above, if you think about it, the clouds in the air above is an ocean of clouds up above, right? Because the water's up above, it's just in a different form, and then the water's below. So there's a lot of that imagery between, because we had clouds in our other picture too, of just water in different forms and the shape shifting and all this other stuff. So anyway, a lot of mythology with Neptune. The original ruler of Pisces was Jupiter, because we didn't know about Neptune yet until we discovered it. And when we did, we realized that Neptune was the furthest out planet. So you could say Neptune is far out, man. So I like to think that Pisces, that's like a vibe that Pisces have, everything is like, whoa, so out there, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
People have
So,
always thought I was a stoner, I will say.
people, and then
I
Jake, push your music. People trance dance music. They think you're stoned all the time, which you really aren't. So,
I
which is
no,
okay.
I mean, my crew in high school, they always thought that our crew was the stoner crew. We didn't touch the stuff, okay? We were
Well,
we were cool kids. We didn't need drugs to have fun.
this would be a good time to talk about the shirt I'm wearing. I wore this especially for Jake. Now, again, I don't know if you guys can see the wording. It's kind of hard to see. I didn't realize the contrast was so bad. But when Jake was
Okay.
in high school, Jake worked at a yogurt place aptly called Chill. We could not think of a
Shout
better
out
place
Chill
for Jake.
Frozen Yogurt. Yeah.
And this shirt says
Which
chillax. So
it sure
happy
does.
birthday, Jake. I'm wearing your high school t-shirt.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
don't know why I still have uh that shirt, but it's a good shirt. It's a quality shirt.
A
And
great
shout out
message.
to now
Everyone should
defunct
chillax.
still Chill Frozen Yogurt.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Boogie Nights. No, I don't think Four Loco will go well with Oreos. I don't want that. Can we censor that? Can we like make that go away? Because that makes me want to throw up. And yeah, Rick, I am a beefcake. Thanks, travel agent Rick. I appreciate that. Oh, you're talking about
Okay.
Neptune.
I think he's talking about the goddamn. One thing
Oh,
I'm going to say
me?
about his superpower, and this is going to get into the whole other thing about this, is one of Neptune's superpowers is he was able to communicate with animals under the sea. We're all familiar with sonar and sound waves, and so much of like what we're talking about today is going to be about musicians and music and all of that. Um, so just want to let you know that the sonar aspect of people being psychic and picking up on energy waves, emotional energy waves. So anyway,
We're getting trippy, man.
yeah,
Okay, so now we'll talk about the house that it's
yeah,
associated with.
there we go. Okay, so I really appreciate Jake showing this, because we're going to make our way all the way around the wheel. So it just so happened we started in Capricorn, which was at the top, the 10th. That was in January. Then in February we did, Aquarius, which was the 11th house. But we're in the 12th house. Okay. The reason I want to make I wanted you guys to have a visual of this is the 12th house represents our the collective unconscious, our subconscious, or what's hidden. And where this all comes from, this imagery comes from the fact that in the first house you're born, that's your persona, right? Your rising sign sets your personality and all this other stuff. But your 12th house is that time right before you were born, when you were in the womb. So let's talk about what it's like to be in the womb. What are you doing? You're floating, you're
You're floating.
vibing, right? You can't
Yeah.
see anything, but what can you do? You can hear. People
Mm.
sing to their babies. They tell people to play, classical music. When babies come out of the womb and somebody talks, they turn their head because they recognize it. So it has a lot to do with audio, which is super cool.
Wow.
And the other crazy thing
That
is,
makes a
and
lot of
don't
sense.
gross out, you guys, but the umbilical cord, which connects you to your person,
Ew.
is what really that thing in Pisces is that connection. You know what I mean? So isn't it crazy? I love this stuff so much. I love all the imagery and all the symbology and everything that goes with all this stuff. So the other interesting thing about this is the 12th house represents confinement and retreat, like hiding away from the world. And what's funny is Rick, our producer, worked at a wellness place called Float, where people would get in pods, basically like you were going into the womb again, just to relax and shut out everything around them. So it's very, very Piscean.
Very healing
Unfortunately,
space for sure.
the shadow side, and you can see the shadow of Jake on the wall. There's always a shadow side to every, sign. It also can represent, the areas of your life where you sabotage yourself unknowingly or whatever. And oftentimes when that happens, if you do something, when you engage your shadow, a lot of times you get punished for it and you have to go to places of confinement, like, prison or
Oh
rehab
God.
or hospitals when you're sick. And it represents all that stuff. So, but it also represents healing because that's where you come back to yourself, you know, and you're in touch with your emotions. It's when you get disconnected is that when people, get sick. So you come back to yourself and you reconnect. So that's
Hmm.
all the, yeah, monasteries, religion, all that stuff, beliefs, prisons, hospitals, blah, blah, blah. So just wanted to say
Right.
all that. Yes.
And yes, little Miss Gabby, as you said, sensory deprivation tanks is what people are getting into, and
Yes.
they are in fact sensory deprivation dank. That is true. Also, thank you for the prime sub, Boogie Nights. Appreciate that. Again, you guys are watching Club Stars Line. Quick little station ID here on the travel agency. We are resident artists in residency. Yeah, that made sense. Okay, so well, I'll say to that. I feel like I live out loud. I've been made fun of and told once by a past flame that I am a I am a theater kid who doesn't think he's a theater kid, which is so mean, but also only because it's true. And I hate, oh my God, it's so
So
rude.
sort of an
Um,
unawareness. Is that what you're saying?
yes. But so that says like I love to, turn it on. I like being in front of people. I enjoy hamming it up. Oh, thank you. Arguably the only good theater kid. Thank you, Elena KB. I like to think I keep it in check. And that's where I like to think I can't keep this, because there's nothing worse than an unfettered theater kid, which I'm sure there's a sign more associated with the traditional theater kid that we know. Anyway, but that said, I do actually really enjoy alone time. Like, and sometimes I feel like I can't get enough of it, honestly.
Mhm.
Like, I think because I use that space to maybe harness my powers, but also to take space of like having, I guess, time to just think about what I want to do. And I think that because I spend so much time outside of or in the outside world, I really need a lot, just as much time inside, which I think is weird. And it's something I've reflected on in the last, like, I don't know, year or two, especially during COVID, where, like, mom, you have said to me, you're like, hey, are you doing okay? Like, all these different things. Are you going to, you know, are you doing okay in this room by yourself? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I really love it. And I don't get why everyone's freaking out.
Yeah.
Um, which, you know, maybe that's
Yeah.
because I have no fire in my chart at all.
Okay, so Jake, I'm
But
gonna I'm gonna interrupt your Piscesness for a minute, and your Capricorn
okay.
mother, who's about structure, is gonna tell you we only have 10 minutes to get through the rest of our stuff, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace.
Well, that's true. Okay, we're picking up the pace, but also,
Yeah,
I'm not doing a DJ set. So we've got 30 extra minutes to talk at your face. So we're gonna
yeah,
fill out this 10 minutes. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, and
okay,
then we'll come back and
okay,
fill it up. But
all right.
anyway, so that's kind of what I would call just the overall deal with Pisces. Mom, do you want to do can we fit the deep dive in between? I don't think we can.
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, we could just whip through this. I mean, we could just
Well, how
go
about
through with
this? Why don't we go ahead and toast? Let's jump to toast for now. Because I think we've got a very good primer of Pisces, and then we'll jump into the specifics of Pisces. But first, let's
okay,
toast, I think.
okay,
All right.
okay.
So,
Uh,
to everyone out in the world, go ahead, Mom.
go ahead.
I just want to say, well, I'm gonna do the toast. So you go ahead and add to it.
Okay, well, I have two very important Pisces in my life. I have my son Jake, who's we're obviously right here, and also my dad. And this is just another one of those crazy, amazing astrology things. Both my dad and Jake have their sun in Pisces, their moon's in Capricorn, and their Mercury's in Pisces. So I grew with very similar energy or whatever. And the universe gifted me with a very similar thing. And the crazy thing about Jake is he was supposed to be born on my dad's birthday, which is March 18th, but he was born 3 weeks early. So he's born February 28th. So how crazy is that? So I just want to let you guys know that, like, look at your families and see like where there's patterns. And a lot of times the energy you're supposed to have in your life will repeat. So I just love that part. So cheers to Jake and my dad. And then I'm also first curious to the fact that they were basically born on the same day. And I have a friend whose dad is a Scorpio. Her son was born on her dad's birthday, and she married a Scorpio. So I'm telling you, patterns in their life. Um, but also just shout out to my dad, John Hewlett, who's very artistic, like Jake. And he is born during the week of Dancers and Dreamers. And the thing is, he built our own house. He just knew he could do it, and he figured out how to do it. He's like Leonardo da Vinci, who was also a moon in Pisces. Just it's not just art, it's like the ability to imagine. And that's something we're going to talk about later when we see some of these other like famous Pisces that aren't just artists or just, emotional people. They're very imaginative and they use their imagination to solve problems. So, anyway, it's very cool. And I have to say, because my dad is so chill, my dad has never yelled at me. He's never raised his voice. They're just chill. He might be annoyed with me, but you know what I mean? He is very much, conscious of my feelings and very good. So I have to say, and, yeah. So anyway, and then also one last thing I want to say about my dad is he oftentimes is asked to do the prayer at our family gatherings because my dad is
Mm.
really good at reading the room and holding space and feeling the vibe. And he always says, Mercury and Pisces, the emotionally intelligent thing. He says the right thing. Everybody just is always like, and I have to tell you, we over our COVID Thanksgiving, we couldn't get together. And the family said, hey, John, can you videotape John doing the prayer? So my dad did it on video. My mom figured out how to do it. And people just needed that. And that's what I'm saying is that the collective unconscious is that when this is why artists are so important in our communities. They say the things we can't say or can't express. So that's the beautiful thing about Pisces. And so Jake always reads my mind. So cheers to you, Jake. I can't ever lie to you because you always know what I'm thinking.
Well, Caps can't lie. They don't know how to lie. Because as
We're gonna
Pisces,
get to
we
that
we
point
can
too.
read.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
but see, I can read that you're lying, but I'm bad at lying too. See?
Okay.
So like like people have poker faces, I can read them like a book, but then I also can't lie. So it's like a mutual space. You know what I mean? Like I'm not good at it. Um the Four Loco is kicking in. Yes, that is true. And Lomas Cappy says, me and my mom are both Tauruses. Interesting
Yeah.
repeating of the energy. Um
Well,
with re-
do you
go
have
ahead.
someone to toast to? Do you have a
I was just
Pisces
gonna
you want to
say,
toast?
I have a lot of Pisces I want to toast to that we will actually get to because they're all
Okay.
celebrities. But in terms of like Pisces in my life, I've ironically not. I don't know if this is ironic actually, but it seems like I don't have many fellow Pisces in my life. Um, so that said, though, I tend to have a lot of every other sign and every other element. I am
There
absolutely
you go.
surrounded by every other element. And so I think with that, I think I'll just go ahead and toast to literally everyone else
There you go. The
because
collective, Jake.
it's the collective unconscious. So here's to the collective unconscious and
Here,
conscious, I
Jake.
guess.
There you
Uh,
go. Cheers.
so
Yeah.
cheers. We are toasting off to all of y'all. Um,
Jake, how about I just wrap this up a little bit with a shout out to the other water signs, just as a way of describing
Perfect.
you, real quick? Okay,
Yeah.
so all the water signs are intuitive and they're all, good with their emotions. But
And
the
just
reason I want
briefly,
to
the other water signs,
the
Cancer
other water
and
signs
Scorpio.
are yes. So the other water signs are Scorpio, and Scorpio's on the land, right? Crabs, which are Cancer, they're on the land, but Pisces are the only ones that are only water. They're completely immersed. They're complete. Go ahead. Go ahead. What you're saying, Jake?
No, it's just I oh, it's interesting. There's a little bit of a delay on the thing. Anyway, yeah, I am fully immersed. So I think people that feel like, why are you so emotional? Is that I don't go outside of the water, you guys. Okay,
Well,
I
and you
live in the
really do.
water full time. I have gills.
The other two signs have defenses. A Scorpio can sting you, right? A crab can pinch you. But the only defense a Pisces has is to be slippery. Oftentimes, they're similar to a chameleon whose only defense is to morph and change colors to blend in and be passive. And so we often see like slippery like a fish. They're hard to pin down. They flip flop. That's how they escape. So now here comes some of just the sort of the pros and cons, the shadow sides of Pisces. However, I do want to say that we need a shout out to the most Pisces of all the Pisces is for those of you who are in the Christian religions, Jesus was a Pisces. I'm here to say he was not a Capricorn. So I'm gonna
Okay,
end on
talk
that.
about that for a second.
Okay, before
Talk
we go
about
to the
that for
break,
a
we have 4
second.
minutes for me to make this, and all the astrologers will. There we go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Is have you ever seen the symbol for Jesus on people's cars? It's a fish. And the big like story was that he turns the loaves into fishes. He fed everybody with fishes. He turned water into wine. What do you think of that? So and the big thing is he was inspiring. He's the spirit, right? So people love it. The other thing is he was not judgmental because he understood everybody and everything. So, and again, the healing, like he healed the sick, right? He was very
Mm.
empathetic. And what I think is funny is they say that Jesus was born in the week of the Spirit, which is the same week as Jake. They say Jesus' birthday was February 28th, which is the same as Jake. So just FYI. And the great thing about Jesus is he never took anything personally because he just knew he had compassion for people. And so he forgave everybody, even the people who persecuted him. So, anywho, yeah.
And I, unlike Jesus, take everything personally. So
Yes.
no, yeah, me and my main man Jesus, we go way back. We get it. We get each
Okay.
other.
Pisces also rule the feet. And me and Jake were laughing about that. You guys ever seen that footprints on the sand thing where there's footprints on the beach, literally where the water hits the sand or whatever. And it says, why was
True.
there only one set of footprints? It's because it was then that Jesus carried you. So there's like a million things that really, and also just like Jesus being reborn, because literally the next sign is Aries, and that's when he was reborn at Easter time. They just took over Christmas because there was already a pagan holiday. So, you know,
It
and
worked for everyone's schedule. It was just better.
it was really when the star was of Bethlehem was in the sky, and the astrologers were following him to come find him. That's when they started their journey to find him. So, just saying, just want you to know, Jesus was a Pisces, and I will. Yeah, that's the hill I'll die on. Yes. So,
Yeah, so you heard it here first. Whether that's sacrilegious or not, I don't know. But
okay.
Jesus is a Pisces, and
Uh huh.
my main man
Jake,
Jesus.
the
Shout out.
chat's blowing up. You might want to look at this.
Oh, it sure is. Let's take a look over there. Little Miss Gabby, yes, a fish can nibble you, but can it bite you? Because I think once
Uh-huh.
it becomes a bite, which isn't what you said, but you can get nibbled. I don't know. It is a fish. Mind blown. Thank you, Wise Guy McFly. We try to blow minds here. Jake is Jesus. I don't know about that. We don't. I'm not Kanye, much like he is a Gemini, which we'll get to that someday. Jesus was a Pisces. I haven't seen that bumper sticker
Jake
yet.
is the second coming. That's what he is.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And I'm just saying I've never seen Jake and Jesus in the same room.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, we get it.
Mhm.
Him.
Mhm.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to go to church and confess tomorrow for a little while. But
Okay, so we got a minute
anyway,
left, Jake. So,
um, oh,
yeah.
we're already at 9 according to my clock. So, um,
Okay.
we're gonna take a break here, everyone. 10 minutes. Go refresh your beverage, get a bathroom break. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna come right back to it, and we're gonna hit you hard. We're gonna hit the pavement fast because we got a ton of stuff to cover before DJ Mix Riss in the
We're gonna do
mix
the deep
at
dive.
10 p.m.
Yeah, the
Doing a
deep dive
deep
into
dive. We'll be
Pisces.
doing a celebrity charts deep dive. I mean, it writes itself. All right, y'all. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. That Four Locos got us going crazy. You're watching Club Stars Align on the travel agency. Um, we're breaking down Pisces tonight, which I am, so we're breaking me down. And Mom, were you just saying something about how I need to kind of We kind of need to
So
get
the
me in
thing
order
about
here.
Pisces energy is amazing and it's vast or whatever. So oftentimes Pisces needs someone in their life to channel their energy. So we're going to just
Mm,
channel this and we're going to do the deep dive with our
yes.
outline so we can get through all the amazing things about Pisces. So take it away, Jake.
Hey, be like water is all I say, but we fill any vessel, so
Good
that's
one.
that.
Good one.
All right, so y'all, we're gonna switch. We're gonna get into this deep dive. So we're gonna have some images for you to kind of send the story home for everyone. So we'll get that up here in a sec. Um, Mom, so where are we starting
Well, the
with
deep
our
dive
dive?
section is really where we talk. Remember how I said is that don't feel bad if you're not your Pisces, your sun isn't in Pisces because everybody has Pisces somewhere in your chart. So we always start with what your rising sign is. And so today we're going to talk about what is Pisces rising, what is a Pisces sun, what is a Pisces moon. So the rising sign is the sign that was on the horizon when you're born, and this has a lot to do with your appearance. So take it away to the next graphic.
So we have
So
our shorty, our lady, who is of course evading me right now,
okay, well I'll
and there
just tell
she
you.
is.
Pisces rising are often are very beautiful. And this is why people why it's really hard to guess someone's sun sign because your rising sign has so much to do with how you look. So Pisces risings are
Mm.
very ethereal and very beautiful, and it's often most noted there in their eyes. Jake, what do we have to say about this artist?
Well, she's got ocean eyes, I guess, as they say.
Yep. And you
Do you,
really know how to make me cry when you give me those ocean eyes.
is that how the
So
line
our
goes?
friend
I actually don't.
Billie Eilish was
Okay.
actually a Sagittarius, is Pisces rising. So that's the thing. Like,
Mm.
you might guess that she's a Pisces because she has a lot of Pisces themed stuff, but so she appears to be Piscean when she has a lot of themes, even though she is Sagittarian, which actually kind of goes together because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is the traditional ruler of Pisces. So just to let you know
Mm.
how all that energy is flowing. Um, yeah. And Pisces are often considered Pisces and Pisces risings are considered the most beautiful signs because of that like dreamy nature. There's a lot of very like stars
Can
are
we
the
can
sweet.
we
Go ahead.
can we hear that again? Pisces are
Oh
what?
yeah. Pisces are oftentimes Pisces are models, and they're often considered the most beautiful because Venus, rules beauty, is exalted in Pisces again because it has all the elements combined. Get it? All the beautiful
Mm.
attributes from everybody are wrapped up into one when it comes to Pisces. Um, what's also funny is that it rules the feet, which is also a weird thing, you guys. Did you know that astrology rules different parts of the body? So
No.
going back to our Jesus reference is, you know, Jesus walked on water. And he literally watched his
We
disciples
forgot that one.
because of service. Like he served them. It was like the most giving, loving thing to like humble himself and wash someone's feet. So this is what I'm getting back to the Pisces motive. Like they'll do anything for you. They're the most loving, wonderful, humble, without ego kind of thing. You know what I mean? They're just so chill. You know what I mean? They'll do, anyway,
I
compassion
will
and to do
say
unto others.
I do move people. I like to move people in that I like to move them with my feelings, but also I volunteer to help people move their homes. And I actually enjoy doing that. I weirdly enjoy a lot of that physical labor in the service of another person. If you need me to mow a lawn, if you need me to do your
Wash your
dishes,
dishes. That's Jake's
move.
favorite thing to do. Jake, I wonder why you like to
Wa-
wash dishes.
I don't wash them with my feet. That's all I have to say. Um, so that's the rising sign. We got our
Okay,
girl, creepy girl
however,
Billy here.
this could
However,
lead us to an interesting thing because there are many Pisces rising people that we know that are married to Pisces. For example, Gwyneth Paltrow, who is a Libra, is married to Jake's favorite of Jake's Pisces. Take it away,
well,
Jake.
was married. That's
Well,
what we need to
was
keep in mind.
she consciously uncoupled with him? Do we know who this is?
We sure do. This is our girl, our Libra queen, Gwen Pal. And what we're gonna briefly do, guys, is do a very brief little bit where we just get a little brief understanding of our friend Gwen Pal.
But give it
Huh?
up for Chris. Just give it up for Chris right now about how awesome he is. Just for a second, if you want to
Well,
go a bit more.
we're gonna go whole tilt on my boy Chris,
Uh-huh.
Chris in the
Yeah.
chat.
So Jake,
But what?
you've been vibing on him
What?
right now. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna send that one through instead. Yes. So Chris Martin, my boy, my sweet boy, my fellow Pisces king. There he is right there. I weirdly, the last few weeks, found myself listening to Coldplay. When I say weirdly, I don't mean not so weirdly because I listen to Coldplay a lot. And I know that Coldplay is one of those bands that people give you trouble for. And I don't really care.
He's prolific. Good. Yes. Yes.
Chris Martin is a wonderful man. I would do anything for him. He's written a million beautiful songs. He's collaborated with it's the Four Loco. He has collaborated with just about everyone under the sun. And as far as a live performer goes, he just brings this gravitas, this sort of beauty to the stage that I envy. And in fact, if I was to ever be in a world renowned popular band, Chris Martin would be the boy, the man that I most identify with how I would lead myself. Um, he does this thing where like right before a big moment comes up, he's like, "Okay, everyone," and it's like, "Let's go." And it's like, and then he gets
Oh,
into it. I'm like, I
crazy.
fucking love.
He gets you into it.
Gets
Yes.
you
Yes.
hype. He gets you there. He brings you
Yeah,
in. He
Jake took our
understands the
whole
collective
family.
unconscious to get it done.
Jake took me and Ethan there, and we went to a Coldplay concert, the one with the lights and the whole thing, and it was like just a 2 hour love fest, 2.5 hour love
It
fest. It
was
was great.
incredible. And the
Yeah.
song he opened with, which was also the title track from that album was called "A Head Full of Dreams."
There
And
you
that
have
is in fact the album I've been listening to for whatever reason. The album's from 2015. It's not even their latest effort, whatever. That album just nonstop is just been going on with me. So I've had my head full of dreams, kind of the last few weeks, and this is that Pisces season that I think a lot of people are feeling in a lot of different ways. I think I've had friends that aren't Pisces that have been really feeling it, and they're just like, I don't know what it is about right now, but like everything is just so heavy for me. And I'm like, is it heavy, or are you just not equipped? Are you
feeling
just
the
not
feels.
ready?
Yeah. So
It's those
Jake,
signs that don't want to feel that are being forced to feel. And so what I say to those, you're gonna get through this. We're gonna pop off an Aries. We'll get to that eventually, but just feel the feels. Go ahead, mom.
that's
Go
right.
ahead.
So I just want to say, Jake made some really interesting things when we were talking about this over the last couple weeks about who people are attracted to, right? So here you have Gwyneth Paltrow, who is Pisces rising, is with a Pisces sun sign. I'm like, why are they so connected? Well, if it turns out in his chart, his sun is in the seventh house, and the seventh house is Libra. Okay, so here's Chris Martin's chart. We're going to do this real fast because we're going to get into a deep dive with our celebrity chart. But can you see his sun is in the seventh house? So, sun in the seventh house, right?
Right
Relationships,
there.
that's committed relationships. So he's like a cousin of a Libra. So this is the thing. You might be a Pisces, but if your sun is whatever house it is in is very much flavored by that. So he's very much about relationships, which makes sense with all of his songs and love and all these things. So Gwyneth Paltrow, okay, if you look at Gwyneth's chart, she's got a stellium in the seventh house. So she's got a bunch of them. And the key thing is you see her sun is right there. So even though her sun is in Libra, her sun is in the same house as her husband's. So even though they were different signs and they might not typically get along, when your suns are in the same house, it really connects you in terms of romance. So I love relationship astrology. That's the whole reason I even got into this. And so I just want you guys to see that you might be like, well, she's not very Piscean, but she's Pisces rising, and they have all this combination in the seventh house together. So very much about
Wow.
relationship. Anyway, go on to
How
the next one,
crazy.
Jake. So Jake made the
Okay.
very
So
startling observation. Go for it, Jake. About his next girlfriend.
oh yes, that's right. So unfortunately, Gwen Pal, our beloved queen, and Chris broke up. They had their beautiful children, Moses and Apple, blah 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 blah. We know the story. Well, what you may not know is Chris Martin has consciously recoupled with someone, and that person is the Queen Dakota Johnson. And her chart has something I've never seen before, which is this very stark and bold triangle. And mom, I'm very curious your
It's
interpretation
called
of
degree
this.
across, but the key with her is her
A
sun is
grand
in.
what?
I'm sorry, what?
A grand cross?
Yeah, yeah. So we can get into that later. It's a grand
Whoa.
trine, but we'll get into that. But the key I want to say is at the top of it, do you see her Mars is in Libra and her Sun is in Libra? So oftentimes people unconsciously hook up with another person of the same sign. You know what I mean? He's
Wow.
familiar with her energy. So even though their sons aren't in the same house, so I
Right.
doubt they're going to get
The
married.
seventh.
But he recognizes her
Really?
energy. Yeah, and she doesn't really have any other Pisces stuff going on, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
So,
I'll tell you this. I was informed by one of our behind the scenes producers back here in studio C,
uh-huh.
um, that they bought a house together recently.
Okay. I will
So
say that
things
you
are
see
getting a
her
little
12th house.
serious.
Her 12th house, though, which is Pisces, and we're going to get this, especially in our celebrity chart, is
Uh-huh.
just because you don't have any Pisces planets, everybody's got a 12th house. And if there's planets in it, they have a Pisces flavor to them. So she's got a bunch of energy in the 12th house. So that makes her Piscean, even though she doesn't have any Pisces planets. You know what I'm saying? So he recognizes that energy too. So just want to let you guys know that. So,
Interesting.
yes.
So
So
we're rooting for Chris and Dakota.
we're
How
rooting
would you
for Chris to find love because you know what? We
for
talked about this today. Pisces want to feel their feels and they need somebody to feel feels with. You know what I mean? So this is why love, Venus and Pisces again is exalted. It's the most romantic, the most loving of all the signs, and we're gonna get there in a second. Okay, so we are going way too deep in our Pisces rising because we got to get going here. So
Okay, so now we're gonna get back to the sun, the Pisces sun. Well,
let's
just
get
really quick, I still can't think of a couple name for Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin. So if the chat could help me figure that out, because I've tried to do it, it's like Krakota. That's not gonna work. So help us out with that. Okay, the Pisces sun.
okay.
Let's get
Okay,
into that.
so this is the core. They call it your ego, but this is like the thing you're learning. So you're learning how to be Piscean when you have your sun in Pisces. Okay, so you might have it in other areas of your chart, but you're going to learn Piscean lessons in your life when the sun's in Pisces. So one of the more famous Pisces, and I think Jake has a picture for this, is
I
a
do.
man named Johnny Cash. Okay, what I
Oh
think is
boy,
fascinating
the
about
man in
Johnny
black.
Cash is that, as we talked about, the 12th house rules confinement, and it's interesting because Johnny Cash recorded a album in prison. It's called Folsom Prison Blues. And it was
Mhm.
during a time when he wasn't famous. It was just something he felt compelled to do. He felt such a kinship with these people who were confined, and he felt like they needed joy and love in their lives. So here's a picture of him playing in front of prisoners in San Quentin. And I don't know if you can see the picture on the wall, but it's of the ocean. It's a cypress tree over the ocean because they're in San Quentin, which is in San Francisco in the Bay Area. So anyway, he
Wow.
had such an emotion for these people who were trapped and that were so hurting. So anyway, it catapulted his career. So it's
It did.
crazy. He's a Pisces. He's also famous for singing the song Hurt. So he feels his feels for sure. So anyway, just interesting that, he definitely, not only did he feel for people who were in the 12th house, he actually played his music in a 12th house environment. So anyway, and he was often known
Wonderful.
to like work toward prison reform and all kinds of stuff like that. So
And
let you
we have a long list of people that are also Pisces that are sun sign. Their Pisces is their sun sign. Um, a very brief list of that is John Hamm, Rashida Jones, Catherine O'Hara from Schitt's Creek, Alan Rickman from of Professor Snape fame, R.I.P. Blessed be the King, and also people like Justin Bieber, Grimes, Hosier, mom
take me
with
to
the
church.
with the uh-huh. Take me to
Uh-huh.
church. See.
Mhm.
And then is I see the note here says float on Pisces Jeremy Green. Are we talking about the drummer from Modest Mouse, Jeremy Green?
Modest Mouse. They sang that song "Float On," and those themes. It's so funny when you
They
see the
sure
theme.
did.
Yeah, the lyrics of all these people who sing. It's just so like I'm like that's a Pisces. That's a Pisces. You know what I mean? So it's just funny. Um,
And I want to save I was going to do the quote for us
okay,
because remember I'm a theater kid. We
okay.
also have Mr. Rogers. He's a Pisces, makes total sense because we're amazing. And last but not least, Mitch Hedberg. He was a Pisces. And quote my mom has here written one of his favorite lines, and I'll do my Mitch Hedberg impression. uh, I'm sick of following my dreams. I'm just going to ask them where they are going, and then I will hook up with them later.
Mitch Hedberg was known for his surreal humor, surreal, right? And his stoner style delivery. We love Mitch Hedberg. Jake introduced me to Mitch Hedberg, and I have watched every single video of his. I love that dude so much. So hilarious. So low key, just so hilarious.
Damn.
Yeah, love that
I
guy.
don't know if I had made myself laugh with my own Mitch Hedberg quote
Jake,
or
that was pretty darn good.
impression.
That was good. I
Thank
have
you.
yeah.
Okay. And then last Steve Jobs, George Washington, Albert Einstein. So, I mean, get
Okay,
on
so
my
this is what I was
level,
getting at.
y'all.
Yeah, so getting back to people who aren't just artists. Okay, so the other thing I want to say about Steve Jobs real quick is
Get your money
he
up.
he fought to make Apple products intuitive, which is very Piscean, right? He wanted it to be beautiful. He like went on and on about the cases and the touch and
Hmm.
the feel of it. Do you know this, Jake?
I do, but go ahead.
You're making funny faces. and it's in slow
No,
motion. So
okay, yeah, don't look at the stream, look at us on the right side. But
okay,
I it's a little slow for some reason.
okay,
But yeah, no,
okay.
we all met up. Me and the Pisces, we meet up every month. So I mean, I knew all about this. Yeah.
You already knew this. Okay. Also, just want to say one last thing about Albert Einstein. He sort of had that nutty professor thing because his hair was messed up or whatever, and he was lost in La La Land. But he is the one who quoted. So just remember, Aquarius is the water bearer, right? They want to bring all the knowledge. This is why I'm such a like know-it-all. I want to tell you guys all the facts. Like I just want to dump all this information on you. I'm always dumping information. I was a librarian. That's my job. He said,
Yes.
because I'm all about knowledge. He said the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge that you've accumulated, but imagination. So this is where it ends up is
Ooh.
can you dream it? Because if you can dream it, it can happen. You know what I mean? It'll backfill. It'll go back through the other signs and figure out a way to make it happen. But you have to dream it to make it happen. So I thought that was cool. So anyway,
Remember that,
moving right along
kids.
to the moving right along to the Pisces moon. Okay. So Pisces moon. Moon is your emotions. And the moon is happiest when it's in water signs because it gets to flow as much as it wants. And so in Pisces, it's the most sensitive. It is literally the soul of an artist, psychic, sensitive. The problem is their emotions ebb and flow and they get overwhelmed. Just imagine an ocean crashing, a wave crashing on the beach, but it doesn't last long. It recedes and it comes back. Um, yeah, very absorbent. We used to say Jake was absorbent because he would pick up all the feels and we'd have to wring him out. Even though his moon isn't in Pisces, he's very Piscean. He's got other Pisces things. But the other thing I just wanted to say is too, that a lot of times the emotions can accumulate like a hurricane or whatever. So they get all turmoil, and but then they go out to sea, they go out and retreat, right? And it dissipates.
Mm.
So that's what's saying going about this retreat thing. There's like this physical weather related thing. I mean, that's why astrology is so amazing. It uses the elements in their symbology to really represent the energies of how these things actually happen. Um, and they can be overwhelmed and confused by emotion, but they also are able to pick up on emotions and channel and convey all the subtleties that we live in the world. We're lucky that we have Moon and Pisces people in our worlds. So anyway, so Moon and Pisces people
Fantastic.
are Gemini entertainer Prince. So even though he was a Gemini, his moon was in
The
Pisces.
purple one.
Um,
Let's go.
yeah, Martin Luther King, who was a Capricorn, but what was his famous quote, Jake? He said,
I
"I
have
have,
a head full of dreams.
I have a dream." Right. So he was definitely he imagined the world being fair and justice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Leonardo da Vinci, who, yeah, amazing artist, but also an amazing scientist. So he had that whole thing. He could imagine all these solutions. And then the one last thing I want to get into real quick is Michelangelo, who was a Pisces, made the most beautiful sculptures and paintings and all these other things. And he was able to connect with people. So, and the funny thing about him is they used to call him Il Divino in Italian, which means the
Mm.
divine one, because he was able to just capture, in art, things that were like, he seemed divine, like he was godlike because he was able to just, create these amazing things out of nothing. Anyway, so any thoughts
Absolutely.
on that?
So quickly, yeah. Who's even left to be cool of the other signs? I just have all of them. An embarrassment of riches of the coolest people and signs. Quick shout out in the chat. We've got some subs. Thank you guys. And I don't want to miss this because it's perfect. Caitlin in the chat says that I helped her move quote 400 books at one point, and I did it with joy. And she actually moved into an apartment that I used to live in, so it was actually not even that hard because I already knew how the stairs were creaky and how to fall if I needed to because I'd already moved in and out of that place already. So, yes, I do move. You can hire me. Typically, I only need beer and pizza, but maybe actual real money.
That's how you
Anyway,
show.
exactly.
Okay,
So we'll move on to Mercury then.
we're
Let's
going to
get
get
into that.
personal with Jake here because Mercury is the
Oh God.
communication planet. When you're Mercury Pisces, the water sign, I'm not going to say, okay,
Uh huh.
so I'm going to say maybe verbal diarrhea, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You're not constipated, Jake, when it comes to your words. That's an amazing thing.
No.
So, shall I tell the
Studio
kindergarten
B.
testing story or do you want to tell it?
Go for it. You
Okay.
do it because I
So
will say it too
Jake
long.
went to the kindergarten pre-training or whatever. They asked him a question and then they count how many words what their vocabulary is, like, and they stopped him at 30 words. Like, okay, we got it. We got it. You know how to. So he had plenty. He was very verbal, very, very verbal. They're good
Yeah.
storytellers. Like I said, they're able to read the room, big imagination, very effective communicators, and also good listeners, because that's the other part. It's the receptiveness. You know what I mean? That's a good one, the
I
communication. Go ahead, Jake.
I am here for you. I, as a Pisces, am here for you, the world. I'm here to
Mhm.
listen to you. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, but also for those of us who aren't Piscean, sometimes, like Jake's brother's famous quote for him is, Like Jake was a musician, and he said the type of music Jake created was go for it, Jake.
Ambient?
Jangly crybaby
Yes?
music. But
Oh,
Jake,
even worse. Even worse.
he's
Yes,
like,
there was a
oh,
moment in
Jake
my
plays
life
music.
when I wrote indie rock, which we called Jangle Crybaby, but actually even more accurate was called Jangly Cry Pile music, where you
Cry
and your
pile
friends hang out
music.
in
There you
a
go.
pile and you
Cry
cry
pile.
together. That's most
Yes.
noted as Sufjan Stevens. But anyway, who is my
Okay.
idol, and I don't believe it's a Pisces. But anyway.
Okay, I'm going to tell two funny stories about Jake. Okay, so Mercury is also your thought processes. So when Jake doesn't want to be somewhere, he spaces out. So one time, his teacher told me that we were taking a test, and Jake really didn't want to be there mentally. So he hypnotized himself by twirling a pencil, like by its eraser. And like she's like, Jake told me, he's like, Mom, like 10 minutes went by and the test was over, and I don't know what happened. I'm like, you hypnotized yourself, Jake. So
That did happen.
also, Jake can't go to yoga because he instantly falls asleep. He's hypnotized by the words, totally gone. And Jake, the other thing I will say about Mercury and Pisces is they can read your mind because it's that sonar thing with the Pisces. You know what I mean? So they always know what
Mhm.
you're thinking. And they're also very good at describing things. They paint words with pictures. So Mercury and Pisces is a superpower. So just
So
want to
be
say,
careful. I can always read your mind, but if you have me do a yoga practice, I may fall
yeah,
asleep.
don't take it. Don't be offended,
Um,
Jake. Just, fed,
I'm just so
whatever.
deep in the zone.
Yeah, he
Yes.
spaces out. He's gone.
Moving right along.
Yes.
We've got Venus in
Okay.
Pisces.
Now, this is a big deal, people, because Venus in Pisces is an exaltation. Remember, we said about it being related to beauty. So Pisces is the ultimate, right? It's the accumulation of everything. So Venus is at its ultimate. The thing is about Venus and Pisces, it's a little dangerous because you can love anybody. So you need to learn discernment. You will find something beautiful in everyone and everything. They really value art and romance. And for them, love is a drug because everyone wants to escape into that beautiful nirvana, like Kurt Cobain, who's also a
Oh,
Pisces. You
a
know,
Pisces. Thank you.
yes, Pisces, thank you. And sometimes that can be because the 12th house is like your undoing. Sometimes you can do so much for love that it's they want to save the underdog, they want to save people with their love. Jesus loved everybody from the prostitutes, to his enemies. He never judged people. So Jake, let's show a visual of Venus.
Let's do
And
that.
it's,
Why don't we do that right now?
there we go. There we go. So this is the famous photo of Venus on the half shell by Pisces Botticelli. Sandro Botticelli was the artist or whatever. So this again has been the symbol for beauty over the ages. And she's in the sea spray, right? She's born of sea spray and blown by the winds to the shore, right? So she's born in the ocean, but she
Yeah.
comes to, this back to that duality of the water and the shore. Um, and the whole reason we're getting to this point is that going back to beauty as being sort of an illusion is that one of the big things that you see people that are Piscean are really good on film, like in terms of motion pictures and also photography, because film creates an illusion. A picture of something isn't the real thing, it's an illusion of the thing, but it gives you the feeling when you see it. So it might not be the real thing, but it's the feeling of it. So it's
And
like a
you're
simulator. It stimulates the emotion. Yes. Okay.
right. And
Any
yes, I
thoughts on that,
take
Jake?
film photography pictures. Yes, I take film
So, and
photos.
I
Of
think
course
it's
I
funny that
do.
Jake, how do you produce a picture? What do you have to, what kind of, you put it in a chemical bath, right? You put it in water and the image emerges. It like blows my mind. The deeper you get into this stuff,
Just like this up here. Mom, I just want you to know, I don't think you can see the chat, but we're getting freaking roasted right now.
by what? Oh, really?
We're getting roasted by the chat because we are our four loco getting to us. For
These are
instance,
these are
there's
Four Locos.
started a thread here. They're starting a thread here of our four loco statements, our quotes, our four quotos, co's. And apparently at one point we said that Pisces paint words with pictures.
Oh, paint. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to switch over to water now since I'm in the bathroom. I just,
um Jesus was a Pisces? Yeah, that's not for loco talking. That's
no more
the
Four
that's
Loco for me. We're going to
okay.
do this.
Our four Quocos. Yes, our four Kaylee Quocos. Anyway,
She's
I
a
still got this
Sagittarius.
shit on yo, I got this shit on lock, okay? I don't care how
I
many four Clocos I have, okay?
Okay, we're gonna
Anyway.
zip Mars and Pisces, Jake, and then we're gonna get to the part that you really want to. Yeah, we're gonna get to this. Okay,
All right, let's
so
get
let's
into
go to
some business.
Mars.
All right.
Mars,
Let's go to
Mars is the
Mars,
warrior.
baby.
Mars in Pisces is a pacifist. It doesn't want to fight. Okay. So you know what it does? It avoids you. It won't fight you. It's going to dissolve your anger. Okay. You can't get mad at them, which is infuriating. Just want to tell you that. Okay. And the big thing is, of course, your Mars is also your sexuality. And so the thing is, in the 12th house, you want to escape. And it's an amazing thing. It's like going back to that love is a drug thing. And the key there is they want to merge. Remember, we talked about like being in the womb? You just want to go to that place, that other place, right? So they'll escape with you and they'll read your mind. So that kind of thing. So that's a pretty cool thing. And I just want to say with Mars in Pisces that the strongest thing in the world is gentleness. So if you
Mm.
can just chill, you've been through
So
everything, you finally realize in the end, you just kindness and gentleness is all that matters. So you don't need to fight.
yeah.
Just let it go. Also, want to say one quick thing about the Pacific Ocean,
Oh.
right? Pacifist, right? It was a
Hmm.
peaceful ocean. So I forget, it was some Italian explorer who named it the Pacific Ocean because it's peaceful. So anyway, just want to go back to pacifist, Pacific Ocean, all the water imagery. So anyway, go ahead.
Interesting.
Any
Well,
thoughts, Jake?
so my Mars is not in Pisces, but as the resident Pisces, this idea that your sexuality, with again your Mars is in Pisces, is about emotional connection, which I
Right.
think as a broader thing, I as a Pisces have basically been in a relationship nonstop since I was 16.
Mhm.
And I will not tell you how old I'm turning Sunday, 29. So that I feel like other signs are turned on by other things such as talking and ideas. Those are air signs. So when my boy Chris Martin, he got swept away by that that wretched Libra, Gwyneth Paltrow, and broke his heart, which he then had to create the album Ghost Stories, which was incredible, but was completely at the hand of his broken heart. And he did bring the song Magic. And I'm gonna have his.
Okay, but you
He,
better pay attention to
she
the chat
broke
because the
his
chat's
heart,
blowing
and
up. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, go to the chat. They all want to go back to the womb,
and
you
then
guys.
Chris, because she hurt him so much, he had to go back to another Libra who's just gonna break his heart all over again. That wretched Libra.
They're
Anyway.
about harmony. They're beautiful. So, okay, those girls, they said, okay, boogie nights. The other sides are turned on by other things, right? So, when
Uh
your Mars is in a water sign, it's the emotional connection. When your Mars is in a fire sign, it's the passionate connection. When your Mars is in the earth, in the air signs, it's communication. It's a mental connection, mental stimulation. And when it's in earth, it's like the physical sensational connection. So that's the thing. There's no good or bad. It's just interesting to know how people operate both in their lives and also, in the love department. So, anywho, just want to go there.
They
So,
did my boy dirty is all I'm saying. Dakota, you treat him good.
so
You
we
treat
need to
him so
advise
well.
Chris Martin to find himself somebody else. Yeah,
Chris,
that's right. So I'll help him. We'll reach out to him,
Dakota, I
Jake.
swear
Let's
to
reach out.
God,
Okay,
if you
we got to
break
get
his
on to the
heart,
next thing, the Mars weather. Jake, we have 40 minutes to get our celebrity chart in and
we
also
have
the
20
astro.
minutes. We have
Uh
20
oh.
minutes.
Oh, shoot,
Let's
20 minutes.
go.
I
All
can't even.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Add that to the
Okay.
Four Loco quote strand, you jerks. All right. Whatever. Anyway. All right. So we're getting into that celeb, or are we going big picture? Astro weather.
Let's go big picture. I can do that really fast. Let's go to
Jump in there.
okay, people. As far as the astro weather, we're literally going to have a comment about what the literal weather was lately, what's been happening in our world. So let's go
Hmm.
straight to that shot, Jake, of that. That is a picture of a fountain in Dallas, Texas. So, um, this week, Uranus, which is the crazy planet, unpredictable. So Uranus is in Taurus right now. So unpredictable earthly things are happening, right? And it was square Saturn in Aquarius, which Saturn is structure in wacky Aquarius, right? Because it's ruled by Uranus. Okay, so if you can follow that. So Saturn and Uranus square Mars and Taurus. It's going to happen 3 times, you guys. So see that picture? That's the first one. The next one is going to happen in June, and then the next one is going to happen on Christmas Eve, you guys. So hold on to your hats, mark your calendars. That's crazy stuff like that is going to happen 3 times this year. Okay, so the thing I want to say about this is there was a sudden, unexpected energy crisis. Okay,
There
and the
was.
crazy thing is people wanted to blame the windmills being frozen. It wasn't that. It was the fossil fuels, the gas pumps and the natural gas being trapped underground because they needed electricity. Remember, we learned these Uranus lessons for last time, whatever. They needed electricity to have pumps to get them out of the ground, right? So the interesting thing is there's always a sudden revelation. And what did all of America learn? Thank you, Jake, for pulling this right up. What do you think about the Lone Star State? Jake, would you like to just give your 2 cents?
That whole state where, don't mess with it. Well, Mother Nature sure did. And they got wrecked. And it's really sad, actually. It's not something to joke about. But
It's not.
structurally speaking, they are completely disconnected from the power grid based off of a very old decision, which wrecked their infrastructure. Y'all read the news. But
Right.
anyway, we're praying
And the
for
sad
Texas.
thing
We've got
is,
family there. Anyway.
right. So the sad thing is that they couldn't. What typically happens, like when like one state's energy goes down, they're on the same grid, so they can pull from another state. But they opted out a long time ago to do their own thing because they were energy independent because they used all the fossil fuels, very Taurus. Um, and so the thing is, and what I think is interesting is all these people from California are moving there, and this is a wake up call that they're not. They need to. They have to connect with everybody else now. It's very Aquarian. Yeah, it's nice to be independent,
Hmm.
but you need to think of the group. And so when they reconnect, then everybody will be on the same power grid. And you know what I mean? And then, I mean, lives won't be lost and things will be able to flow. So it's funny, it's forcing them to join, and build their infrastructure and connect. So anyway, it was kind of a crazy thing that this all happened just like right now. So the other crazy thing is, so that happened on like this, like 17, 18. On the 18th, the sun went into Pisces. And guess what was the result of all these frozen things? Their pipes broke. So the plumbers across America are heading to Texas because everybody's pipes froze and broke. So my sister has a swimming
Hmm.
pool. She had to go out with a hammer and like break the ice on her hot tub because it's going to ruin it. So everybody is dealing with water issues. They had to boil their water. They had all do so perfect. I mean, sometimes astrology is so insane. Literally moves into a water sign and they had to deal with water issues,
I
So
mean,
it was crazy.
are there any
Okay.
astrologer plumbers out there? Get in the chat if you're out there.
Are there any Pisces
Um,
plumbers? That would be a perfect job. Pisces plumbers.
Pisces
Okay, so
plumbers.
rest. I am going to zip on down to the Mercury. The other interesting thing is Mercury has been in was retrograde in Aquarius this whole time up till February 20th. So last Monday it went direct. So what happens after it goes direct is it's in its shadow period, which astrologers jokingly call retro shade. So this week, you
Mm.
guys, if you're wondering, like, does it feel like things are still in retrograde or whatever? They were retro shade, but the thing that's overlapping with it is that the moon is waxing up to the full moon on Saturday. So not only are we coming off of a retrograde, we have a full moon waxing over it. Um, and the interesting thing is the full moon is going to be in Virgo, which is the opposite of Pisces. That's always the way full moons are. But the sun is in Pisces and so is Venus. So if any of you guys are feeling like you want to reach out to old loves or you're feeling nostalgic and all this other stuff, don't feel bad because you're feeling this push pull of the practicalness of Virgo, you know what I mean, and the romantic longing, Virgo is why it didn't work, Sun and Venus is like, oh, it's so beautiful. So just let you guys know that's what's going on right now. So feel free if
So,
you want
Mom,
to reach
quick
out to
quick
your person.
call
But
for everyone out there experiencing Pisces season. Should
yes,
they contact their ex?
if you need to revisit it, revisit it. But just realize do it realistically and maybe as an exercise and like, well, maybe that is why it didn't work. You know what I mean?
So there you go. So
Or maybe
you
it's
heard it
time
here
to
first,
do
folks.
practical things to make it work. So, I mean, there's that. So,
There you
okay,
go.
one last thing,
So,
and then Jay, take it away with the celebrity chart is the
oh,
new
we
moon
got yeah.
we talked about is going to
Hmm.
be in Pisces March 13th, so mid March. And last month we made a big deal about this huge pileup. There's 6 Aquarius planets on the new moon last, and it was a great time to set intentions for the ideas. So the cool thing about the new moon in Pisces this month is now it's time to take those ideas and let yourself sit with the feeling of it becoming real. Because remember dreams, right? And the belief and the faith that this is going to happen. Because next month when Aries comes, it's go time. So sit with your feeling, right? Allow yourself to feel what it's like for those dreams to come true. Believe it and act as if. And in April, we will act on the new moon because it has initiating energy. So that's the end of my lecture, Denise's sermon on the astro weather. So
In the Pisces church, the Astro Church. Again, briefly, guys, you guys are watching Club Stars Line. Thank you for being here. This is our Pisces edition. You're watching this on the travel agency. We're probably going to run a little over time tonight because I want to make sure we get the celebrity chart out and do it full. So,
okay,
DJ
I am going
Mix
to say
Risk noted. Yes.
One last thing I do want to say because this is going to happen before we see you guys. Our next stars align is like March 20 something, Jake, 25th, I think, or
I
something.
don't. Yeah.
Our Aries stars align. So before that happens, I do want to say, and this is where I think we should bring this photo up. March 20th is International
Hmm.
Astrology Day, you guys. So everybody can celebrate astrology because literally it's the beginning of the astrological new year. And who better to tip this all off, then a picture of our patron saint of astrology, who is also a Pisces, is Walter Mikado. Shout out to our friend Caitlin Zara, who bought this super cool Walter Mikado candle. So Walter Mikado is a Pisces. He was a very well-known and well-loved astrologer in South America, and he was on TV. So for years, people learned about astrology at the end of the news hour. They get to wait and hear their horoscope. So love you, Walter Mikado, and we're going to talk about him at a later date. But anyway, awesome. So,
Is my Walter good? Can you see my Walter? Is this a good Walter?
oh, mucho, mucho amor, Jay.
Mucho, mucho d'amore. That's more of Italian than
Yeah,
Spanish. Excuse me. All right,
exactly.
y'all.
Okay. Jake, I'm
You
going
know
to let you
what?
kick this off. This is your girl. You wanted her. Okay.
All I gotta say,
Okay.
bitch better have my money. But also, you can stand under my umbrella, Ella,
Hmm.
A. And you might say that under that umbrella could be fellow Pisces, like Chris Martin.
Hmm.
And who else might be under that? Than the Queen herself,
Hmm.
Rihanna.
You're
Our
showing the
girl
next.
with her giant 5 foot book that she came out with. So if you
Yes.
guys got one of those limited edition books, please let me know.
Jake,
I
explain.
I
There
want
was
to
like
buy it from you.
1,000 of them, and it cost like $5,000 for this book or something insane. And of course, she's swimming in a pool up to her photography book. Could it get more Piscean than this? You know?
I don't think it could.
Right.
So our girl Rihanna, you heard that, rude boys. Time to give it up. Rihanna is the queen. She's the Pisces queen, unfailing, just the best. I think the queen of pop. What can we say? She's
She's
got
the
her Fenty
richest
brand.
female artist in the world, people. $600 million. So who says that Pisces are
You
poor?
heard that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Who said Pisces is poor?
Yeah.
Me, but Rihanna is not, and I'm glad. I'm happy for her for that.
Mhm.
Yes, briefly, she did come out with a coffee table book, and there was like an edition of 1,000 that were like these 5 foot or insanely big books, 3 to 4 foot. So I don't know. Go buy that giant ass book. It looks sick. As you saw, Coldplay and Rihanna had a song called "Princess of China," so maybe we'll hear that a little later. Maybe, who knows? What else is there to say about
But
Rihanna? Let's
but
get
but Rihanna totally
let's do a little
embraces being a
lookbook here.
Pisces. So Jake, take it away. Show the picture. Yes, she loves dressing like a mermaid. She's always in bathtubs and pools. All of her videos are like bathtubs and pools and mermaid stuff. She also went so far as to get a Pisces tattoo. She's loud
She
and
sure did.
proud as being a Pisces. So Jake, you got that? There we go, right
I
behind her
sure
ear.
do.
What was
Right.
interesting is when we decided to do her chart, I was like, she's only 1 degree of Pisces. She was born February 20th, which happens to be the same day as Kurt Cobain, but they're very, very different artists. So, Jake, let's go to her
Interesting.
chart if you don't mind.
Let's do that. One moment, please. And here we are. Wow, a lot of top left energy
Right.
here. A lot of
Okay. So you can
Pacific
see, if
Northwest
you guys
here.
see in the 11th house, she's got her sun in the 11th house. It's only 1 degree Pisces and she has nothing else. Pisces her chart. However, she has a bunch of 12th house stuff, which makes her Piscean, right? Those are the subject areas. And she has
Oh yeah.
Neptune, which rules Pisces, at the very top. So, Jake, do you want to go up to the top of the chart? You see she's got 4 planets right there in the ninth house. She's got
Mm,
Saturn and then she's got Neptune right there. Yeah. So
yep.
when you have Neptune at the top of your chart, it's very glamorous, like illusion, right? She's that illusion of beauty. It's Neptune and
Oh yeah.
Capricorn, which
Oh,
means you're gonna make
there's
some.
no illusion. That's
Yeah.
just straight up.
Oh,
But
but you
go
know what I'm
ahead.
saying? There's allure and glamour. It's glamour. And I'm telling you,
Yes.
Neptune and Capricorn makes bank. Saturn and Capricorn makes bank. So it was not surprising that she would become the richest musician, female musician. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like she's got
Mm-hmm.
all that big outer planet energy, including her Mars, way up there at the top of her chart. So that was pretty cool. What was interesting is if you go back now to the 12th house, okay, so the 12th house has her, there you go, Jake, very good, has Venus, and then you can see the moon. Everybody recognizes the moon, right? Right there. When you have your moon and Venus conjunct like that, because you guys can see that together, it's like at 11 and 12 degrees. Um, oh gosh, where is it here? you love, okay? And she's kind and affectionate, and it just makes me laugh because sometimes loving someone is like you're undoing. And she sang the song, like remember I told you about love being a drug? No, I mean, love is a drug when your Venus is in the 12th house. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like,
Mm.
the thing. So anyway, so her emotions and her Venus are tied together, and they're not in any old sign. Her Venus and her Moon are in Aries, so she's going for it. But the problem is that she doesn't see things clearly. So a lot of time her romantic choices aren't very good for her. Does this make sense? Um,
Yeah.
so she might sabotage herself. So the thing I want to get into is you guys see this thing that looks like a sparkler. This is something that I love talking about now in all the romance charts because I feels like it gives you guys an extra clue. So Juno is the asteroid of commitment and marriage. So when you have Juno and Aries like she has, she's going to look for someone who will fight with her. So that's not the greatest when you have it over there in your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't
Mm.
have very calm relationships, but she definitely needs passionate ones. And then, like I said, when it's in your 12th house, you might be prone to being disillusioned with your partner. So there's that. Just wanted to say,
Well, she did famously have a song where she said, quote, "Want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. Like
yeah,
I'm the only one that you'd ever love."
uh huh.
And then the other line that would follow that. Um, I get that. I feel like when my Piscean love is very like right here in my eyes, the
Well,
my ocean eyes. Thank you.
and she
You
sang that
know.
song with Justin Timberlake, Rehab, and it's all about love being a drug, which she gets it. She totally gets that.
Yeah.
The other
She
interesting
gets it.
thing is she's
She
Mars,
gets it.
or I'm sorry, she's Aries rising and she's an Aries moon. So even though she is a Pisces, she has this Aries energy. Um,
Mm.
and what's interesting about that is her moon is in Aries, much like AOC and Bernie. So she's very passionate about causes. And so she is one of the most generous people that has contributed to coronavirus relief. She donated $5 million to support the coronavirus research or whatever. And her whole quote was she wants to help the most vulnerable in the United States, the Caribbean, and in Africa for what is to come. So, I mean, she puts her money where her mouth is. You know what I mean? So, generosity. And when she said the thing, the keyword was vulnerable. She wants to help the most vulnerable. So she's going to the countries that don't, the Caribbean, which is where she's from, and Africa. So it's pretty cool. She is, you know, she's got so much going for her.
She's a
It's
real
amazing.
one. And let's be honest, every sign, every famous person we've talked about in this sign
Yeah.
has been a real one. Name one fake in our crew, and I will kindly ask you to exit.
Yeah.
Um, Rihanna's a real one. Now, here's the thing, though. She, like my dear boy Chris Martin,
Mhm.
has also fallen to the hand of that of a Libra. Back here.
Okay, we're back. Okay.
Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. So briefly, what we're just saying is, fellow Pisces, Rihanna, Chris Martin, they both fell for Libras. So very briefly, we have the chart. See this here. This is the chart
Mhm.
of ASAP Rocky. What are some takes you have from his
Okay.
chart?
And of course I can't hardly see, and Jake's throwing this on me or whatever. He's a Libra, so it is funny. It looks like he's Libra. Yeah, he's Libra rising, so his seventh house is Aries. So they have each other's exact opposite, setup. So that opposites attracting is a big thing. So they actually like each other's complement. So that was what I would say on my
Mm,
first take. Um, Also, Jake, I wanted to go back to, if we wouldn't mind going back to, maybe Rihanna's chart, just talking about Venus in the 12th, because she has her Venus in that 12th part of the subconscious. And that's where the
yeah.
muses and artistry. There are many famous artists who have Venus in the 12th house. And so we're just going to list them off. So not only does
Okay.
Rihanna have her Venus, which is where artistry comes from in the 12th house, from that subconscious place, Adele, Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, Gigi Hadid all have Venus in the 12th house. It makes for amazing songwriting. And the quote we wanted to
Mm,
use is from Jimi Hendrix in his song Purple Haze. He says, "Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down." Okay. How Venus is that in the 12th house? Am I happy or am I in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. So that's very Venus in the 12th house. So just want to let y'all
Wow.
know that.
And I will just note, Gigi Hadid does not write music as far as I know, but she
Oh,
is a
I
model.
hope.
She is
Yeah.
married or has is with Zayn, however, who is a musician. So clearly there's music in her life nonetheless. Um well, fantastic. So I think we have one more. Do I have another? No, we used all the Rihanna images.
Yeah.
So there's our
That's
queen. That's what we got. Looks like we're
and
actually on time, Mom. I think we did it.
right.
Do we have
She has
more?
her, I just want to say in conclusion, she has her North Node, which is your purpose in life, in Pisces, which is to help people in the 12th house. So she's a compassionate visionary. So that's what that is. So there's just so many things you can get out of a chart. So let's just we'll end here with the compassionate visionary, the idea of Pisces being able to, dream the future that will work for everyone. So anyway, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this is perfect.
Okay.
We've got about 3 minutes to kind of wrap up here. Um, Again, guys, we're not ending here, but this is kind of our portion, just kind of the breakdown of the sign. So you know everything there is to know about Pisces. Um, Stick around. We've got a major DJ set, but before we get into that, I just want to say that we'll be doing this once a month, typically the last Thursday of the month going forward. So if your sign hasn't come up, it will, and we will break it down. Reach out to us, get in the chat. Tell us all about you. So next month will be Aries, which will be very fun. Got some sweet, wonderful Aries in our lives. Um, I guess we'll come back right. So
Okay.
we'll make sure that you guys are here and hanging with us. So we just got a word from center base here. Um, yeah, there's a lot to break down about each and every one of us. So always make sure to come and hang out. You're also watching the show on the travel agency. Um, I think that
Okay.
if anyone in the chat has any questions for us, you guys should do that now. We can kind of
Yeah.
grab some of those on the end of the hour. We'll probably come back for another 5-10 minutes at the end of the hour, just before Marissa's DJ set. Mom, is there any
But
other
we can
little
take
things you want to
questions
drop?
now because Marissa's getting ready. So if anybody in the chat has questions right now, I'd be happy, for Jake and I to answer anything we can about Pisces. While Marissa gets set up, she has got a whole list of amazing Pisces. We've rattled off a whole bunch of Pisces musicians, so she's gonna
Yeah.
have plenty to talk about. So
Oh my God, her set is
yeah,
always insane.
right.
Um, well, just to kind of surmise, I'm kind of, you guys, it's my last year of my 20s.
Oh
I'm gonna be
God, Jake.
29. So, and here's the other thing. Here's the thing we didn't talk about my birthday last year is I turned 28 on the 28th last year. Okay? It was supposed to be my golden birthday, which it was. I had a wonderful birthday. But it's supposed to
Mhm,
be my golden year, and it's something weird about me is that like odd numbers feel weird to me. I don't like odd numbers. Even numbers feel really clean, smooth. I mean, I think of like the physical shape of even numbers. And the only even number I can think of that has a kind of a jagged shape is the number 4, but that's something else. Um, Mom, did you have an idea on that?
Well, I was going to say to you, Jake, at Pisces, here this pandemic came along and forced you to focus on yourself for the first time. You've always been in relationships, right? And you were not able to
True.
go, nobody can even go on dates right now, hardly. You know what I mean? Risk your
Sure.
life, right? So it forced you to
Yeah.
go inside, right? And you've been so creative this year. It gave you the opportunity to do all these things. And the other thing is, you're in your Saturn return. So your Saturn just went into Aquarius, right? So just be happy that you're 29. You only have like another year to go of this Saturn, you um,
Well, it's
process.
that thing it's that thing where 29 sounds older than 30 for some reason. Like I'd almost rather turn 30 than 29, and
Yeah,
31 sounds younger than 30 somehow. I don't get how that all works, but um yeah, it's the 20s ending feels a little strange. But so Mom, so my Saturn return, what does that mean exactly and how long does that typically last for people?
it
And
actually
and
goes
what is
from
the Saturn
27 to
return?
30, and it's a process of
Oh,
maturation. Like you've either taken on so much maturity when you were younger that you like learn to lighten your load, you can relax a little bit, or people that have kind of taken a regular pace by this time are starting to like recognize, all those Saturn things, and your Saturn is an Aquarius. So it's really interesting because Saturn in Aquarius is about innovating from the past. So like you've look at all the innovation you've done this year. While in seclusion, you haven't just sat there and done nothing. You started a podcast, you started this Twitch show, I mean, Rick started it, but you got in on it. You know what I mean? Like you guys
Yes.
together built a lot of cool stuff. You've been super creative and productive this year. So you took the
Well,
best
thank
advantage.
you, mom.
Well, you not only your set return, but it was also a pandemic. So I mean, talk about the pressure cooker. You really took the
I
time to
mean,
focus on the things you really cared about and you used your creativity. So um I would love if anybody
well,
has any wants to talk about what's going on in their world. Like, my favorite thing, and I would love to put this like on a tweet or whatever about this is it took a pandemic to fill in the blank. We started the whole session off today talking about wow, we're like a year ago. Like, so if anybody has any
mhm.
reflections they want to talk about in the chat about like their feels right now about what it's been like to be, it's like everybody had their Saturn return this past year because everybody was locked down. Everybody was forced to like look at what really matters and what's most important to them. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a phrase that I think we've all that interpersonally between myself and my mom, and I got to give her credit because this is her quote, is that in crisis also comes opportunity.
and
And I
that's a
think
famous
I
one.
oh, it is okay.
Well, and also
It's
too,
probably from
what's
Star
really
Wars or
funny you
something.
could say that? The Pisces symbol is the really basically the Pisces of yin yang. I mean, the symbol of yin yang. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And the yin
yeah.
yang symbol is crisis and opportunity, destruction, and construction. Oh, hey, look who's here. Are we ready to go?
Okay.
Okay, we're
Well,
gonna
so we're gonna take this crisis of tech or of this world and make an opportunity of this to dance. So for those out there who've waited long enough, let's go ahead and present DJ Mixris of Boogie Nights of Quarantine. Um, yeah,
hold on to your hat.
let's get in it.